friends, I finally did it. That's right, I got a haircut. That was a long time coming right there. Somebody down in the comments 1 or 2 videos ago said you need to trim that beard also. What's wrong with my beard? I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Actually, forget what I just asked. Do not comment about my beard. So before we get started today, friends, let me show you guys what I've been up to over the past few days. Tell you what, guys, one of the nicest things about having a dump trailer is being able to have somewhere to dump all your trash and just your stuff that needs to go to the landfill and not have it piled up on your property. That is a nice luxury right there. And by the looks of things, it's getting pretty full.
had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life.
All right, friends, let's check on this kiln, see how things are running. Then I'll show you guys what I've got planned for today. I would show you all the screen, but it's kind of hard to see through the lens right here. The temperature inside the kiln is 120. That's what I got it set on, so we're in good shape right there. The wet bulb has gone down to 85. It was at 95 about 2 days ago when I started this load. I'm drying about 800 feet of white pine 4/4 and a few layers of 8/4 in there. All of it's white pine. I usually don't mix the thickness on stuff, but with pine, you're okay. You really can't mess up pine. It's hard to mess it up. Unless you overload the kiln, and then you'll have a lot of mold on your boards. That's happened to me before, guys. Don't overload your kiln. But based on the conditions inside the kiln, I should be getting a little bit of water coming out of the back. Let's go check. So the first few days when I start running the kiln, I don't have a bucket back here because it just overflows. When I start getting toward the end of my cycle, I want to see how much water's coming out. So we got a little bit in there. That's how much water's came out in the past 2 hours. Since that is a smaller load, I anticipate that taking probably about 7 days to get down to about 10%. Then I'll crank the temperature up to 160 to set the pitch and the pine, and that will bring me down to about 8%, and the load will be done at that point. I'll do 160 for 24 hours to set the pitch. I'll do 24 hours at 160 degrees, and that's what is required to set the pitch in your pine. Now the pitch is all that sap in your pine, and it makes it harden. Now if you don't do that, when you start taking your lumber out of the kiln, you run it through the planer, you will hit those little pockets of pitch in your pine, and you will know it'll look like syrup on your boards. So if you do 160 for at least 24 hours, that makes it all solid and you don't have that problem later on. Now some guys do 12 hours, I do 24 hours just to be safe. And after 24 hours, I shut the kiln completely down and I let it rest for about 24 to 48 hours before I open up the doors. So over the past few videos, you guys have seen me work on that pile of logs up at the mill. I got that done finally, but down here at the log yard, I got 3 piles of logs to work on. So we're gonna work on this one today. And guys, it is a mess down here. I'll tell you what, I got all kinds of stuff in here. I got a giant cherry crotch log right there. That one needs to be sawed up ASAP. It's been on the ground way too long. I got some red oak over there, and another pile of white pine right there. Here's another white oak, but it is probably too far gone to put on the mill. We'll probably put that on the log splitter here in a few days, get some more firewood out of it. But right here, friends, is a prize. I knew this one was down here. We're gonna try to get it up to the sawmill today if I have enough time. I'm gonna work on that oak first. This is a cherry. It's gonna be 2 different logs once we get it up to the mill because there is a sweep right there and a crotch at the top. I can get an 8-footer and a 4-footer out of this. And I don't know if the camera will do it justice, but this is a massive log, guys. For cherry in this area, that's a good size one right there. Tell you what, guys, I need some sunglasses. I can't see for nothing right now. Let me turn around here. If I face the other way, the shadow of the camera is on you guys, and I hate to see videos where you see a shadow of a camera. It drives me crazy. It's my pet peeve for making videos. So we'll go get our chainsaw, a logger's tape. I'll show you guys that in just a second. And the 754 because the grapple's on it. And those oak logs are pretty heavy. So I think the 754 will be the best tractor for taking those up to the mill. I'm out of breath. I'll tell you what, I'm out of shape, guys. So you guys hang in there, start get our equipment and get to work. Here's the tools we're gonna be using today. Number one is my logger's measuring tape. I've had this thing for probably 10 years. It's got a horseshoe nail right there on the end, although that one's a little rusty right there. I might replace that here sooner than later. It's a flat measuring tape. I think this is 50 feet long, but they do have them up to 100 feet and maybe even longer. It's got a nice little clip right there. It goes on your belt. I'll leave a link down below for all these tools in case you're interested in them. If you're cutting a lot of logs to length, that's the best tape to measure them with. Number two is my Scandinavian forest adze. This is a Grand Forest Brutz. This is a brand new adze I bought last summer. This is the first time I've had it out. Number three are my goggles, and these are buds. And the reason I like these when I run the chainsaw, when I do wear safety glasses, I don't always wear them. You guys always remind me though. It's got a screen right there, so there's no glass or plastic or nothing going on. So it never does fog up or sweat never gets down in there and kind of makes a mess. Those are really nice. My chainsaw today is my favorite one, the Stihl 461. The best saw that I've ever owned. I've had that thing for about 7 years now. All right, so let's drive our horseshoe nail into the log right there. So you leave the measuring tape hooked on your belt and you just walk backwards till you see the length that you need. And I'm not a professional logger by no means, but I have watched a lot of YouTube videos on logging, so that does count for something. Right? Right, okay. So we'll come down here and knock down all these weeds. What are we looking at? So this log is actually just over 10 feet long. That's way too long for what I need because I'm cutting 8-foot boards to match the other oak boards that I have. We'll come down here to about 8 and about 4 or 5 inches. Make me a mark with the axe. That'll be my guide for the chainsaw. Now don't worry guys, this little chunk I'm getting ready to cut off of it will be used for firewood, so it will not go to the burn pile. This is good hardwood right here, it'll burn pretty good. If my memory serves me correctly, and it usually doesn't, I believe these logs have been laying down here for 3 years. What in the world's going on here? Well, that's embarrassing. I didn't cut all the way through it. My goodness. I think that got it. So we accomplished 2 different things. We got the log cut down to size, and it looks like it's in decent shape. And it looks like I disturbed the nest right there. Those little beetles are not going to be happy. So looking at our log, it's in pretty good shape, guys. We do have some rot right there around the sapwood, but the heartwood looks really good, and we got some nice tight growth rings right there. This will make some really good boards. If anybody out there knows of any beetle relocation services, give them my phone number. a problem with this one. Yep. That's not good. All right, guys, we got a large hole on this one right there at the pith. That's not good. But right here, a lot of solid heartwood. So we might get a few boards around the pith right there. Who knows? We will put this on a sawmill though and find out. I believe my cant hook is about 60 inches long. Let's see how deep it goes. Well, not too bad. It could be worse. I think we'll get something out of it. That was heavy. All right, guys, this is the large end on this log. Diameter is probably about 32 inches. Nice and solid, friends. Check that out. This will be a really nice log. I just got a weather alert on my phone, and my goodness, guys, I'll tell you what, these phones, you talk about a nice luxury. Do you realize what our grandparents would have done to have had a phone in their pocket or just anything that tells them when rain's coming? Man, it's nice. It sure is a nice luxury, and I am really appreciative of it, especially since I'll work outside most of the time. So having said that, since we have rain on the way, this will probably be the last log we look at tonight. I was hoping to get to that cherry, but my chainsaw got down in the dirt on that last cut. It's pretty dull now. I barely made it through that log, guys. I couldn't see the other side and it went right in the dirt. So there goes my expertise with logging and all those videos I watched. So I guess I'm not the expert that I said I was. So we'll take this log up to the sawmill. Instead of putting it in my new log yard up there, I'm going to put it straight on the mill. So in the next video, which will be tomorrow, we're going to open up this red oak, guys, and see how it looks. So once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you everybody on Patreon for supporting me here on the channel. And I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. We're going to open up this red oak, and I can't wait, guys. These older red oak logs that sit on the ground for a while, they get a little bit of spalting around the edges, and they are something special, guys. I tell you, they're really nice. They're really nice. Take my word for it. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.